Well, I got the next person I'm calling up. She can come straight up here. Amber Duke.
Let's
Where's
go.
Amber Duke? Come on. Amber. Come on down, Amber. Amber's a beast. I'm curious to see which side she's going to take, though.
Did they autograph the mustard?
There's so much nuance.
Okay, I know it is. See, that is the thing. Is Myron? That's the only complaint that I really have, though, is that I do think it is a nuanced situation, right? Like women aren't all retarded and dumb, you know.
Well, just
but
a lot of them.
just
Amber's not
majority
retarded.
of them. Yeah,
A lot of them.
Sorry, go ahead.
My husband would agree with you, but I had a question.
Smart guy.
Are you religious?
No.
Okay. I was just curious because it explained a lot of your comments. But I actually wanted to challenge you on your claim that women don't have empathy.
Okay, sure.
I actually think the
Let me
problem-
clarify though. When I talk about empathy, I mean as into the masculine experience and how men,
Oh, it's
like to us, because and this is why so many women struggle with keeping a guy long term. Like men have to understand women to get laid. Women don't have to understand us to get laid.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Isn't it that men can't keep a woman long term since they're the ones divorcing him?
What was that?
Isn't it that men can't keep women long term since women are the ones initiating most divorce? So
Well,
shouldn't
what I'm
men
saying is
get
that a
better
lot
at
of
their
modern day
empathy?
women, when I talk to them and they say, like, one of the top questions I get with girls is like, well, what do guys want, especially more attractive men? And it's amazing to me that they even have to ask that, because with men, if we don't know what women want, we just have to deal with the consequences. But with women, they can kind of get along in life and meet guys and date and everything without really knowing what men want. But yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so my point about empathy was actually that I think the reason perhaps why you think women don't have empathy is because of these issues we're talking about with women getting married later in life and having children later in life. The empathy is not directed towards the family unit anymore, and it's actually extrapolated to outside groups, which is why we see things like tent cities and an outsized focus on minority groups.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, they can absolutely have sympathy. But when I'm talking about empathy specifically, I'm talking about the male experience and like kind of how men go through things in life. Like I don't think women are empathetic to the masculine experience. Whereas like men, we have to understand women to some level if we want to be successful. And if you look at guys that like are really good with women, like pickup artists or dating coaches or whatever, they have a very fine-tuned understanding and empathy to women because they're trying to get laid. So they have to be able to think ahead on what the woman's going to expect, what she's going to want, the type of vibe she's going to want when it comes to making something sexual. So I argue that men are far more empathetic than women are, especially guys that are good with women. I don't think women are empathetic to men because they don't have to be.
I got to disagree with that because you're also making the point that women aren't getting good guys because they're hypergamous. And so if women are going to suffer later in life because they can't get a good guy who wants to help them have a family and be a strong protector, that is a detriment to women by... I guess what I'm saying is women need to be empathetic to the male experience if they want to have a successful family and relationship.
That's right.
Yes, but they have that comes through them learning. And my thing is I'm saying, yes, there are some women who are capable of doing that, right? I've noticed girls that have like a strong father, a lot of brothers, like they get it. But I'm saying a lot of women don't. And they're still able to get through life fairly easily without knowing it. And it isn't until maybe later on.
So to clarify, it's not intrinsic to being a woman. It is cultural.
Yes, there's no need because no one gives a fuck about men in general. So most women are kind of like, well, why do I got to understand this guy? I'm hot. Like, take me out.
But just to clarify again, if women were raised by good dads, they would understand this, you're saying?
Most women I've met that understand this, they come from either a strong patriarch with a father, uncle, or brothers when they do have it. They have like
Kat, did you have something to say?
Well, I mean, I have a wonderful father. I would say I'm very grateful to have a wonderful father, and it's been such a joy to watch my husband be such a wonderful father. And we're raising a little boy who is going to grow up and be a wonderful father, I hope. And Myron, I hope that someday you can be as happy in a relationship as I am in mine.
Yo, Myron's going to have a daughter and his whole show's going to shift. He's going to be a raging liberal.
I want to say one thing to Kat, though. Kat.
Yeah.
Kat.
No daughter.
Well, I do want to say, though, that you are a female comedian, very successful in a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you give a lot of credit to having a strong father?
I give a credit to having a strong father every single day. I talk to my dad every day. I am so grateful to have the father that I have. And I think that men that are as wonderful as my father deserve all the credit in the world.
Is he funny?
He is funny.
I think
yeah.
I got a real funny.
And I agree. I think that's a lot of, even in like the black community, obviously I think it's a lot of the broken home situations, Myron, that there's actually a lot of examples where black guys have both parents there and they're incredibly successful. So I think that, the way that people are brought up, the patriarchy or whatever you want to call it, is very important to their,
Well, yeah, I've
maturation.
always said it that strong dads keep daughters off sure poles and sons out of jail. It's very important.
But isn't part of the issue that we're outlining here that you're saying is that society doesn't have empathy towards men, which I would actually just agree with. There's really good research on this, actually. If you look at like the age at which we view boys becoming men, it almost completely overlaps with the spike of suicide rates amongst young boys, which is about the age of 14. So I would actually wholly agree with you that society doesn't have like empathy for men in any way, shape, or form, right? And we have this kind of weird infantilized empathy for women that I think is actually harmful to them in a lot of ways because it robs them of a lot of their agency. But when you're saying like it's women that don't have empathy for men, I feel like you're actually missing like 50% of the pie. When it's society. Nobody cares about men. They don't care that you're struggling. They don't care that you're lonely. They think your tears are gross. And I think that that's a horrible state. But I don't think this is a woman-driven thing. This is a societal issue.
I want to say this point too: the infantilization of women. I think that it's very obvious, though, that women's social power only goes down with age as men's go up.
Yep.
So it's directly inverse. So you would want to infantilize a woman because her value is more when she's younger. So she would want to skew and tend to be more young. I mean,
sure,
isn't that right?
I think we should only infantilize children. I don't
I don't
think
I'm
adults.
not pro, but I'm saying isn't
I don't
that...
like infantilizing adults. I understand why. I think you're right as to like why we oftentimes like systemically infantilize women more. I just think it's harmful to both women and to men because it leads to this like really weird disjunct where if a woman is like sexually aggressive with a man, people are like, oh, he probably loved it. But if a man does the same thing towards the same age woman, we're all like, he's a monster. And I think that there creates this disjoint of unparity that I think is harmful and devalues men in a way that I don't think is good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
thought
not sitting here trying to feel sad, but I'm just saying, like, this is just the honest reality when it comes to, like, how women deal with men and how men deal with women. Like, men have to understand women, whereas women don't really have to understand men to be able to get the same access, right?
But if they
women don't
understood women better, they'd probably have longer marriages and women would be leaving them less often, I'm assuming, right? Because women cite the same reasons over and over for why they end the marriages, even though I would argue to women, like there should probably be more
women end relationships a lot of times because they have this concept that they should always be happy, and that overrides duty to the family. So that's another reason too why women end marriages and relationships, because we tell women that their happiness overrides everything, and they'll be like, oh, you know what, I could do better. Like, women have this perpetual, the grass is greener on the other side, I could do better. It's usually
I could do better without. It's usually why they're leaving men. They don't say I can find a new man who's better. They say I'd rather be single than fucking put up with this shit. That's usually why women leave men.
Yeah, I have a stupid uninformed hypothesis where I think women will average at a slight state of discontent relative to men. And the reason why I think that might be is that imagine there's two tribal, plains, savannah dwelling humans, two tribes. And in one, the woman is always content with what is. So the guy comes back and says, hey, I caught us some fish. We have food for the day. And she goes, that's perfect. The other woman in the other tribe is, no matter what happens, she's always a little unhappy and demanding more of the man. So he says, I brought enough fish for food. And she goes, why am I only getting 2 fish? This is bullshit. I want 3 fish. And he goes, okay, I'll go get you more fish. Jeez, calm down. One day, there's a famine. The woman who was always complaining has more and survives, and the woman who was content does not. This is not to dig on women. I'm saying that women are demanding of their men because they want to survive, and so they constantly expect more from men.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to, like I've said this, women get mad at me when I say this, but like women are literally designed to extract value from men. Like that is what they're designed to do. We're designed to provide value. Their values, what they do is extract value. This is why,
but you don't got to say it in such like a dick way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's the
Amber,
truth.
what do you have to say, Amber?
This is why women.
Well, you're asking
this
her
is
to
why we
commit
don't
18
care.
years of her life and to carry a body that is destructive to our body. Being able to bear a child is like
we understand.
Annihilates our body.
But
well, when you're saying
the point I'm trying
women,
to make is that women are literally designed to extract value from men.
but you're narrativizing it in a way that I think is unfair.
This is why when a woman makes more money than her man, she starts to think like, what the hell's going on here? Like, women are not designed to provide long-term provisioning to a man.
That's only true. That's only true that when women earn more than their male partners, that it's a problem for the relationship. If the male has a very traditional view of masculinity, and she does too, the moment that you remove a traditional view of masculinity, where, for example, the woman goes like, I'm the breadwinner, and that's totally fine with me, suddenly the relationship's completely balanced out. The data is just robust in this. I wanted to ask.
Yeah, it is. And also
women don't do well when they're
one last thing, Amber, then we're going to bring somebody else
I just
up.
wanted to ask.
It is also, in my experience, I would say not every man could be with me. I think a lot of men have, being with me, felt emasculated. That's cute. Have felt emasculated by me. You could never handle me, Myron. That's obvious.
I wouldn't
That's
want to.
obvious. Oh,
thank God.
And I would never either. I would never
God.
either. But my
sound like
man
a dude.
is very,
At least
very
she's not with black
masculine
guys, so
and
that's
very,
good.
very, very strong and able to be with.
Let's try and get Amber in.
All right.
Again,
Broad
this is
question
what
for
he
the
does.
group.
Sorry, Amber, calm down.
I
I'm
want to
not
get
gay, and she acts like a
everyone's
guy.
opinion on this.
I had pushed a baby out of my vagina. That's about as feminine as you can get.
Well, men can't have babies.
But you
All right,
talk
Amber,
like a
Amber,
guy.
Amber.
You have a deep voice.
All right,
so
all
much
right,
shit.
all right.
All right.
Come on,
So
Amber.
I want to focus this one on third wave feminism specifically and what I think the underlying issue is, because I'm not Myron. I'm not arguing for women to not get the right to vote, etc. But if we look at third wave feminism, I think one of the distinct problems with it is that it's not that women shouldn't be considered equal to men. It's that third wave feminism pushed the message that men and women were the same.
Yeah, I hate third wave feminism. I mean, I'm a feminist, but I'm not pro third wave feminism.
Well, we agree. All right, Amber, thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
Thank
You
you.
guys. Give it up for Amber Duke. All right, our next thing is Joe Cowman here. Joe Cowman. Joe, you here? Yeah,
Yep.
Joe, come on down to the right
These
side.
guys
of
are
the
all
stage.
centrally located tonight. I love it.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. What do you got for us?
Kind of retarded, but
She admits it.
good way to
Great,
start
good
off.
start.
So I have a two-part question for the feminists. Do you think that a time 200 years ago, the way that feminism and females' roles in society, do you think that that was oppressive? Yes or no?
Yeah. I mean, before women had rights, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was robbing of their agency.
Did
In
they
some ways.
have a particular role in the society
Yeah,
that
typically.
would not be able to exist back then?
I feel like I'm not understanding
sorry,
your
yeah.
question.
Yeah, I have no
today.
idea. What the hell are you
I
talking
don't
about?
really
Let's
get
be-
what
I
you're
feel like you're
give me
begging
the-
the question. Do you want to just make your point and then ask a
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
Like,
Okay.
what do you think
So
about this?
we have a lot of consumerism and technologies nowadays that I think enable feminism. Do you think that a time when they didn't have paper towels or a washer machine or all of these other things that women used to do, were they oppressed in that role, taking care of a house?
I like this question.
Yeah, I think
I do like this question.
I think essentially that when you like take away people's like political rights, you are robbing them of agency, which I think is inherently oppressive. I think stealing people's ability to make choices is bad. And most importantly, you can see this, for example, when you look at Spartan women versus Athenian women. Spartan women were actually like expected to manage the household because Spartans thought it was gay for men to like touch money, basically, which is funny. But Spartan women, as a result, were able to negotiate a lot more things like better wages, better like marital care, better maternity leave, whereas Athenian women were basically like rejected from society, and as a result, they were like entirely powerless. So yes, not having any political power or agency diminishes your ability and does create.
Well, let
a
me
system of
ask you to the
oppression.
point of the technology of it.
Sure.
Women of the 1800s, were they oppressed?
Broadly, the poor ones especially, yes. The like rich ones, yes, to a
Was it
lesser degree.
oppressive that they were expected to be doing womanly things, cleaning laundry? And
No, it was the robbing of the rights.
What- but-
It was
can't
that
we
they had
all-
no
Yeah.
other choice to do anything else.
Can't we all agree that even since the beginning of time, women have had gender roles, different gender roles than men, though? I mean,
Yeah.
is that
Men and women are not the
No, I'm
same.
saying I agree
Yeah.
with you. So that's from
So
the beginning of time we've known
This,
this.
the
The difference
point, which
is
is
men could choose cobbler or these sorts of things. Women were only allowed to have babies and
Right.
make the house.
But the
and
reason,
that was basically
the
it.
reason why I think this is a good point actually is that firearms have greatly equalized power between men and women in a lot of ways.
Based.
So if you were
Guns are
a woman in
feminist.
the 1800s, you weren't going to be a sheriff, right?
yeah.
Because they didn't. I think it was until like the late 18. They didn't have cartridges until the late 1800s. So if you're late 1700s, it was not oppression. They said a woman can't be in this role. It was the physical impossibility of it.
It was both, right?
But the other thing too is
they would even
you-
say she like invented something. There was some superpower woman who could theoretically maintain the same
But
jobs.
it's, but it's
she
just-
wasn't allowed to.
But the issue is, you're not likely to see a woman, manually tilling fields with pickaxes.
That's not true. Actually, women were regularly doing farm labor. In fact, that was one of the main domicile areas. that they
Specifically
existed
tilling
in.
the fields.
Yes, they would
Men were
specifically-
pulling these things before beasts of burden.
So were women. I don't know what to tell you there.
Okay.
This was just shared by the household.
You're
typically.
making the argument that women were doing physical feats
No.
men were disproportionately doing those physical feats. But
No,
now
I'm
it's not a
making an
big deal
argument
to have
that
a
men
female
had
tractor
agency.
driver.
Well, no, I said men had agency and women didn't. Right? My issue isn't
the
that women
reason-
had traditional gender roles.
The
My issue
reason
is
why
that women
men
had no
carried
choice to be
heavy
anything
things and
else.
chopped lumber was not because they oppressed women.
I don't have a problem with that. I have an issue if women can't choose to do things like teaching or own
Men
own
did
real
not
estate.
invent pickle jars to oppress women. They're just hard to open.
I I don't know why you're running away from this argument.
Because now they have automatic pickle jar openers. You don't need men anymore.
There's nothing masculine about owning property, right? There's just nothing inherent.
That's what
There's
I'm talking
nothing. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
The point
So
he
engage with
made
me.
was with technological advancements allowing for women to not have to do these jobs is a depression when they did. And I think it's an interesting point that men chop lumber because they have big upper bodies and heavy arms.
I never said I want women in the 1800s to chop lumber.
But now that we have automatic lumber splitters, it's not a big deal to have women doing that job. They weren't oppressing women by saying, no, we're going to have a guy chop lumber.
I'll just state my opinion again because I don't think you're engaging with it. I'm not saying that women were oppressed in the 1800s because they weren't lumberjacks. I'm saying women were oppressed because they didn't have the option to be anything but homemakers and own private property. That's why they were oppressed.
I think she makes a good point.
Sure.
Okay, all right, go sit down, Joe. I don't think that was that great. Jory Brooks. Jory Brooks. Is Jory Brooks here? Come on down. Am I saying that right? Jory?
He's coming.
Come on, Jory. You know, we have a limited time limit here.
Over here, brother.
Time limit.
We'll make the show
We're
run
almost
4
gonna-
hours next time.
Yeah, we do need a 4-hour show, actually. But what do you got for us?
All right, I got a simple question for Myron. Do you think these things should be legally enforced or just culturally pushed?
Like putting women back in the kitchen?
Yeah, stuff like that. Or women
Like
as
repealing the
second-class
19th.
citizens, basically.
Or repealing the 19th Amendment?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we do it, because here's the thing, women are followers, right? They're not really leaders. So if we culturally shame them being sluts or voting or any of that other stuff and say like, hey, you need to get back in the kitchen, education isn't great for you, I think they'd follow that. We don't need to force them to do it because women are followers.
So why do you want to repeal
Good
the
luck.
19th?
Yeah.
What was that?
Why do you want to repeal the 19th if you think social shame is effective enough?
Well, again, in that regard, we really got to make sure you guys can't vote. But yeah, other than that,
Why?
everything else can be
That's the
cultural.
question. That's the question. Why?
Yeah. So, no, when it comes to voting, we just don't let them in. They're like, oh, I'm here to vote, LOL, and then tell them to go home.
Real
But,
quick,
you know what I mean? It's just simple. Like,
Quick question.
that's
I don't
what
want
you
to
do.
take away their rights,
That's cute and all,
except for the
but,
right to
like,
vote.
go back
Okay,
home.
that what I do.
Go
Would you
home,
guys-
back to the kitchen.
Would you
But
guys
yeah,
agree
like,
that women should have to sign up for selective service, same as men?
That or nobody has to sign
Yeah,
up.
I don't
It's
believe
one
in
or
a
the
draft
other.
at all.
So then, so either remove it completely or women have to do it.
I think
Like,
equity would be fine there, yeah.
you know,
okay.
I'll be honest, I don't think women should be in the cops. I don't think they should be in the military. I don't think they should be
agree.
doing any of
He
it.
wants to take away
Like-
women's rights.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
think
hold
women
on.
should
Women
do
should be
anything.
cops
Hold on.
because they shoot people.
on.
They get
Yeah.
emotional.
Well, what
and
he
they
wants
shoot
to
you.
say is,
This is
what
this
he
is
wants
my
to say is
thing.
there's
It's not
not
about
allowed
taking
no
women's
matter
rights.
what.
It's
Did you say
about I
women were
am
more
right.
reasonable?
You guys don't need to be in the military. You guys
It's
don't
not
need to be
philosophy,
Because
it's
here's
real
the reality.
philosophy, guys.
Whenever I see female, I used to work in law enforcement. Let me tell you something. All right,
Tell 'em.
you guys are fucking useless when it comes to anything that has to do with enforcement. I'll tell you why. They don't know how to do things tactically. They can barely go ahead and actually subdue a subject. So whenever I had women and I did an operation plan, I put these bitches on the perimeter because they can't effectively get into a fight and they put everyone else in danger. So when it comes to military, law enforcement, anything like that, I think women shouldn't be involved in those professions.
Just
They
have
should be
equal
only,
standards.
There's actually-
only in a
Just have
support
equal
role.
There's actually a
standards.
very-
Only in a support role.
Myron's
and then I
right.
don't think they and then with that said, since they're not in the military, they shouldn't have the right to vote. That should be left to the men. Because here's the other problem too: when you put women in the military, you put them in law enforcement, you effectively weaken the entire force for what? Their feelings, so they can feel equal. Get the fuck
You're
out of
only
here.
as strong as your weakest link. And there was just a female Houston cop that went and pulled a gun on a guy because the guy had cheated on her sister.
Oh yeah.
women do crimes and that's bad. The issue
I know,
is
but
that
I
I'm
don't want
not
some
saying
female
shoot.
cop. You know,
again. I'm
You're
not
more
saying
you're more
women
likely
should
to
be
get shot by a
cops.
female cop than a male cop. Way
Okay,
faster.
real quick. Hey, is
just
Jessica
engage with the
Schaefer
idea.
here? Jessica, I don't know how your handwriting shit. Jess, come on down, Jess.
there you go. That's easier.
What do you got, Myron?
No, I was just gonna say like I don't. While she waits,
But his
I
answer
don't
is
thi- I
he
don't
doesn't
think
just want to
women should be
socially
in these
shame. He
positions.
wants
I
to
told
steal
you.
rights.
anyone that's in the military or a police officer will tell you having female backup sucks.
Then make
But
sure that
to
the
be fair,
standards
guys,
are equal.
To be
Just make
fair,
sure the standards are equal.
I do want to point out the inherent sexism of this show. I did ask Myron to sit there because I said he could beat the shit out of anybody who fucked with him from the audience.
I love you all.
All right, Jess, what do you got for us?
All right. I think you ladies have an idealized view of feminism, and I do believe it will bring down Western society.
All right.
Come on
Come on,
down.
Tabby. That was great.
Back in the kitchen. Let's go.
Come on, hurry this way.
Now you're letting her out of the kitchen, Myron?
Wow. Let's see
Yeah, he
how-
only likes women that agree with him.
She
Imagine
comes
that.
to the kitchen
They can have rights. They can have rights, actually.
Jess,
right, just right now.
What do you got for us, Jess?
Rights for now.
All right. Let me pull my notes back up.
And speaking to the microphone.
I just think it is a collectivist plot for societal division than it is.
What do you mean
Like,
by collectivist?
As in, right now, when you have, I'll just give an example, the feminist movement being tied with transgenderism and all these other sorts of things that is more left-wing and just more collectivist in mindset.
I mean, you can just say those parts of feminism I disagree with. I already said third wave feminism, not a big fan. Women and men are not the same.
So in a broad sense, feminism as a whole includes a lot of really bad shit.
Sure, of course, there's lots of things
All
in
right,
feminism I
debate's over.
disagree with.
Real quick, but aren't we? Wait, when with the trans movement, wouldn't? And I'm not, social scientist, but aren't we almost in fourth wave feminism?
We are-
now?
we
I mean,
are in fourth
that's what I'm
wave.
saying.
Yeah.
I just read this. No, we are in fourth
Alex
wave. We're
knows his
men-
feminism.
Guys, come on, I know this. I love ladies. I love my baby. I know.
Let's go.
Hey, I love. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
Now, my question was actually for Myron.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Okay, so have you considered that you may be surrounding yourself with low-quality women that are skewing your perception of dating? And how would you address the fact that other men buying into this narrow viewpoint of relationships tend to become unhappy and single?
Okay, so I like that you asked that because a lot of people say that all the time. Myron, you're in Miami, you're around a bunch of bimbos, blah blah blah. So the reality is,
Shut up.
yeah. Well, here's the thing. I brought girls on. We actually keep data. We bring girls on that have PhDs, master's degrees, educated with bachelor's degrees, all different types of job fields, and I've still noticed some like very interesting similarities despite education level, cultural background, etc. With the women. So my thing is, unfortunately, almost all women, well, damn near 99% of women are all very hypergamous. And what I tell guys is the reason why they need to rise up and make more money and get in the gym and just be the best they can be is because women's standards have went up. And since women's standards have went up, most guys don't qualify. And I think for any guy to be in a relationship where they can like make it last and have their girl be somewhat satisfied, is they have to be the best version of yourself, because women are pickier now than ever before thanks to feminism. So and not only that, but like women are encouraged to get the best they can. So my thing isn't necessarily that I'm around lower quality women, what you would say. It's just that I'm around a lot of different types of women from different walks of life. And I would argue the hotter the girl, the more hypergamous they're going to be, because they can be.
I would argue, though, you may be personally trying to find an eclectic bunch, but you're not going to church, right? Are you going
course
to
not.
churches to have these debates?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. We bring a lot of girls that are religious, too, on the podcast. And
you find they're all the same?
No, he does bring a lot.
304 churchgoers?
We've brought girls in that are religious, too. I mean, religious girls are going to want, they're going to want a guy that's more traditional. So, like, the point is this. The guy needs to be a complete package is my argument nowadays. Like, you can't be an average guy nowadays and still be able to, get a girl or get a woman to truly submit to you. What was that?
That's evolution.
Of course it is. But what I'm saying now is that, like, average women no longer want average men.
Historically, 40% of men reproduced.
Of course.
And now it's 83.
83% of men now.
No.
The
83% don't reproduce.
Well, no. I'm sorry. As of the younger generation, sure, but historically, throughout thousands and thousands of years,
of course,
the number was around 40.
Yeah.
Modern history, it's around 80. Of course, I understand Gen Z is
and here's the thing too. We had guardrails, right? Before, like, you had the church, you had a social shame, you had stigmas with women behaving and acting in a way to, effectuate their hypergamy. But these guardrails are gone now. So, like, women can literally do whatever they want.
Well,
when you
part
leave
of
them
the
to their own
reason why
devices, they're going to pick the best guy.
Part of the reason why historically men weren't spreading their seed is they were dying in the mines and they were dying in war, because the way that society dealt with what we call like the young male syndrome, which is a real issue of young men that don't have mates, because typically young men don't actually get mates because you guys are immature and have to grow up a little bit. This has always been historically true. This is absolutely true. This is what wars fed, because a major issue in all nation states when they were beginning, you can go back to like the 700s, is the question of the young male issue. Young men are more violent, more aggressive, and stupid. And you guys often have to get shipped off to bad places. Now, I love the Western civilization where we don't do that to young men, because I think that's fucked up.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
Well,
we don't
in China,
send
they
men.
abort
We're not
women,
killing off
so-
men in the numbers that were regulated in history. And I think that that's good.
Okay, sure, but we still have drafts and we still have war.
Sure, but the issue
it's
is
still
when you
largely
talk about
men.
like men aren't spreading their seed in history, it's because they were
Sure.
dying.
All right, real quick. Do you have one last thing, Jess, before you go? It's been 3 minutes. One last thing you want to say?
I'm a veteran.
I just want to. I want to add to that.
Make one point additionally, because I was talking about collectivism a moment ago, and I feel like with Myron saying like all men, all women, and just coming at your audience with that narrative, it leaves out the traditional view, kind of like Tim was saying, of I'm 23 and I meet someone and do this, and you grow with that person together. Like, I was with my husband while I was going through college.
Yeah, that's great.
So
But I mean, but
it's
you're an
like
exception
that-
to the rule.
Okay, but when
Exception.
well,
You
There
have
is
a
always an
selection
exception
bias,
to the
Myron.
rule.
Your
Majority of 23-year-old girls are not going to do that.
No, I'm sorry.
Like-
This is just not true. Like when you look at dating, typically women are going to date people within their economic and
Thank you,
within their
Jess.
economic
Give it
and
up
their
for
age
Jess.
bracket.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon, so subscribe and come hang out.